Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first edition of VTW Tuesday Night Warfare. We are live from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm not alone. I am joined, of course, by the ever-resourceful Miss Turner.
Hello.
And right below me is the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations, Mr. Graves Fuller. How are you, sir?
Hello, good evening, people. I am doing lovely. I've gotten a promotion since our little last event, and I'm feeling good about myself.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially we already started with the Rocky. I hate to say it, but we already started off with the Rocky. Started with two.
Yeah, we'll get to all of that as the show progresses, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, live from the United Center in Chicago, stacked house for the show, and it was a pretty big night. You know, we started the first round of, I'll pull it up here, of this right here, the VTW Championship Tournament. Now, last time we showed this on the screen last week during our little introductory stream. A couple names are different. We originally had Amelia Eris versus Dylan Mason, and we had Tommy Dyer versus Showtime. Both competitors ended up having to exit the tournament. Amelia Eris, we still really don't know what happened to Amelia Eris. She just disappeared off the face of the earth. I'm assuming TCO has something to do with that. It's not really saying for sure, but I'm just going to assume. And then there's the Tommy Dyer problem. Again, nobody's taking credit for that one.
No one so far. Well, we found him. We used that. Fuller said they found him in his puddle of his own blood. Is that what the case was?
I don't know, but you know,
is there there's a lot of carnage at the scene, a lot of very obvious signs of a struggle. No one knows what happened. No one, if anyone's there to see it, they're not talking. I've put out the feelers to the families of these people, and they're not saying anything, including someone I used to know very personally. You knew him as well. But
of course I know him well. I'm married to him.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, no one was able to get back to us. So as we get information, as it reaches across my desk, I will be sure to pass it on to everyone that I can.
Of course. And you know what? Let's talk about some information that we do know about, though. We do have some information on these matches tonight. Kicking off with the first match of the first round. The spiteful one himself, Anthony Garcia, one-on-one with the future classic Nick Apollo. Now, Garcia came on here last week, and he got in our business. He got right. He pretty much got right in my face. And I told him, you're so eager to throw down, you can open the show against Nick Apollo.
Was getting
he's happy about it. He's happy about me opening the show. Normally people want to be the main event, but he wants to start things up.
Hey, there's three positions you want to be on a card. You want to be match number one, match at the end of the night, and the match before the match at the end of the night. Anything in between, people view as less than important, but they are always important here in VTW.
Always. I mean, if you're not on last, you might as well be on first. And these two definitely took it to each other here in this opening match. You know, Garcia came in using those stiff strikes and that technical prowess that we've seen from him before during his days of calling himself the technical sovereign, really doing his best to wear down Apollo. But Apollo had an answer for just about everything that Garcia could throw at him. And near the end of this match, that resourcefulness and that adaptability came into fruition, because Garcia throws Apollo out to the apron. It's like we're thinking in a battle royal. That's still a couple matches away. Hits him with a wicked elbow shot. takes a few seconds to taunt to the crowd. And as he rushes back to try to deal with Apollo some more, realizing he's gone back to his senses, Apollo slingshots in over the top rope, catches Garcia in a slingshot schoolboy pin he calls the highway robbery, and gets the 1, 2, 3.
It's definitely
It is a
robbery,
fitting
folks.
name.
Highway robbery lives up to its name, and we now know that Nick Apollo is moving on to the next round and will face the winner of TCO versus Dylan Mason next week.
Ooh, that was gonna be spicy.
I gotta say, I am very much looking forward to that one. You know what else I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the next match in the VTW Championship Tournament. And that is Delaney versus Jack.
Yeah, this is what happened with this shit dramatic.
Zodi? What the hell is Zodi? Drop that video on.
How he
That
hijacked the
was
broadcast.
very interesting timing right there.
Yeah. What I'm interested in is how he hijacked the broadcast.
Yeah, that's the first thing I want to know. I want to know how he got in here, how he messed with that, interrupted me in mid-sentence.
Yeah.
That's normally cryptic shit right there. That's what he do. But okay.
Okay, well,
Zodi.
Fuller, I guess we're going to have to get some answers after the show.
We'll have to figure this stuff out later, but for right now, we have to move on to, as you were saying,
Delaney versus Jack Harvey. Delaney versus Jack Harvey. And these two guys... Yeah, we didn't get interrupted this time, although you kind of just did to tell me we didn't get interrupted, so screw you for that. Anyway, the bell rang, and these two guys, they wasted no time getting down to business. Dro used his raw aggression and his power to push Jack Harvey into the corner, unleashing some heavy shots, setting the tone for this. But Harvey is known for that just madman energy, that chaotic, relentless style, quickly countering all of Dro's offense with shots of his own. These two just having a fierce back and forth exchange throughout this match. There's even a point where it spills out to the outside, and Harvey goes after the arm of Dro at one point, slamming his arm into the steel stairs outside. This thing was getting wild. But near the end, as the match neared its conclusion, Delaney mounted a comeback, including that jaw test super kick of his that shook Jack Harvey, but he got the kick out at 2.5. Got a 2.5 off the jaw test. But Delaney sensed an opening, and he signaled for it. He brought him up, was looking for the Dro down, but Harvey reversed it into that nightmare's touch.
Out of nowhere with that.
And Jack Harvey wasted little time, didn't bother going for a pin, picked Dro right back up, right into the position for the drive you mad, planting Dro face first into the mat for the 3. I got to admit, that's kind of a shocking win tonight. I think a lot of people expected a different outcome.
Yeah. Like, when I say it seems like it feels a bit of an upset. It's not like Jack isn't good enough to do it. It's just when going into the match, all the energy felt like it was on Dro's side.
Dro comes in and he's got all that big confidence, and he's sure of himself, but Jack Harvey's like, no, this is my night. And he proved that tonight. He proved that he is not one to be slept on. So, updated bracket here. Jack Harvey will face the winner of tonight's main event, Big Sexxy versus Showtime. I can't wait to talk about that one. I cannot wait to talk about our main event tonight. But before we do that, we have to talk about a situation of another championship that will be making its presence felt in VTW very soon, and that is the Defiance Championship. Now, this is a championship we really didn't get a chance to talk about last week, so we're going to do a little bit of talking about it now. This is, if you're not in the running for the World Championship, this is the one you want. Because this is the championship right here that is perfect for people to make their statement. This is going to be the workhorse championship for VTW. If you hold this thing and you go strong with it, you're going to go far. And we are determining a series of contenders tonight and next week. We have 3 battle royals, including this one between Darius Jones, Larz, Wyld, Tyler Stone, and James Park. We got 2 more battle royals next week. On top of a couple other surprises I've got in hand, the 5 names. Overall, we got 5 names. 3 that will be decided in the battle royal, and 2 that I'll get to those next week. 5 people will be competing in a championship scramble to crown the inaugural Defiance champion. And these 4 men tonight, Darius Jones, the debuting Larz, Wyld, Tyler Stone, and James Park, all fought for the right to be the first to be up for contention in a over-the-top rope battle royal. There was so many moments in this match.
Yes, definitely. And that's the beauty of such... It seems small for a battle royal. 4 people. Why only 4 people for a battle royal? Because it makes you really focus on people. Regular battle royals, too much chaos. People are going out left, right, and center. This one, everyone's got a target on their back at all times.
Oh yeah, there was one point early in the match that just had me rocked because all 4 of these guys are going at it. We see a little bit of teaming up between Tyler Stone and Darius Jones. They made it very clear over the course of the week that they do have history. They do have an alliance together as the Regulators. So we did see a little bit of teamwork between those 2 tonight. But there was a point in this match where James Park locks a sleeper hold onto Tyler Stone near the ropes. Darius Jones comes over and breaks it up. Park just immediately locks him in a sleeper hold of his own. I'm like, this is the damnedest thing. Then Larz Wyld comes running over. Now, Larz Wyld has never been seen here in IW, in VTW at all. Like, this is a brand new, fresh face. Nobody knew what to expect from the man who calls himself the One-Man Massacre. You know what this guy did?
What did he do?
He runs over to James Park and Darius Jones, lifts both men up onto his shoulders, and tries to eliminate both men at once.
That is a big dude. That man.
No kidding. No kidding. And he almost does it too. James Park just barely gets out of it at the last second. Tyler Stone comes over and saves Darius Jones. And Darius and Tyler begin working together on Larz. You know, they start trying to chop down the big guy. James Park pulls himself out over to the corner to kind of recuperate himself. So Stone and Darius start working on Larz. You know, they hit some big double team offense, and then they try to lift him over the top rope, but Larz is able to fend him off and go back to his business. And at this point, things started to change because Darius Jones all of a sudden decided he was going to go into business for himself, and he tried to eliminate Tyler Stone when his back was turned.
All right, that Battle Royal, every man for himself.
Every man for himself, that's right. But this was a move that Darius Jones would live to regret as Tyler Stone reversed it. He had one edge over on Darius Jones and flung his ass over the top rope.
Yeah.
Tyler Stone gets the first elimination in the Defiance Battle Royal, eliminating Darius Jones.
Ooh, I'm curious.
And he gave this little motion as Darius looked on. He's like, I know you. I'm not that stupid. So, you know, it is what it is there. But, you know, they're on the other side of the ring. Larz and James Park are going back and forth in their own way. And Larz nearly gets another elimination on Park. He runs at him with that big, meaty right arm of his, looking to clothesline him over the top rope. But Park clings on, almost like skinning the cat style.
Oh, wow.
And takes advantage of Larz's momentum and pulls him over the ropes.
Oh, no. Poor Larz.
Yeah.
But great showing.
He had a great showing. Kid had a great showing.
Absolutely.
And I mean, to get eliminated by an established veteran in IW like Park, you know, I mean, it's got to stand for something. But we are down to James Park and Tyler Stone here. And, you know, these two, they go at it for another several minutes, but they find themselves out on the apron near the end, just slugging it out back and forth. But it all comes down to an end when Tyler Stone lifts James Park up in position, drops him with that brain-dead brain buster on the apron, crumbling James Park down to the floor. Tyler Stone wins tonight's Battle Royal, which means Tyler Stone will be a part of the Defiance Championship Scramble match in the near future.
Woo, good one on Tyler.
That's a big win for Tyler Stone tonight. Big win for
Absolutely
Tyler
beautiful.
Stone. All four of these guys gave it their best, but hey, there can only be one. Now, next week, like I said, we have 2 Battle Royals coming up. And I got word by way of Mr. Fuller down here, that a recent acquisition has been added to the ranks of this Battle Royal. So, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we take a look and see just who that is? Fuller.
That's right. Your new best friend and my new best friend, everyone's new best friend, Mr. Good.
I like to say I like his theme song kind of dancing too.
It does get a little bit of a chip to it. I dig it. You know, it's the kind of song that you would hear, you know, when you're getting up in the morning and, you know, you're getting ready, you're brushing your teeth, and then you finish off your brushing your teeth with a nice swig of mouthwash. That's what it feels. That's what that song makes me feel like. It feels like just taking a nice big swig of mouthwash. But I guess Isaac Michael Good will be in one of the Defiance qualifiers next week. I can't wait to see who else is going to be. That's 7 other names that we don't know yet across 2 battle royals,
which we will find out very shortly.
Yes, we shall. But before we get to that, we have another tournament match to get through. This was supposed to be Amelia Eris versus Dylan Mason. However, during the week, as we stated at the beginning of the show, Amelia Eris just... something happened. We're not entirely sure. We had her hotel booked. We had everything set to go. But she never checked into the hotel. She wasn't answering the phone. We've got teams out looking for her, trying to figure out what happened.
Never made it to her flight. Never made it to the hotel room. Never made it to the rental car service.
It like she just poofed. Like
just straight up poof. So I mean, I hope we find out what happened there, because that's not an easy person to just make disappear.
No, it is not.
And the man who is now taking her place seems to imply that he may have had a hand in it. And that is TCO, who now stands against Dylan Mason. Now, these 2 guys, I really wasn't sure what to make of this heading into it. You know, this was a match that obviously nobody was expecting. So, you know, Mason comes out and he's just unfazed, actually. It kind of shocked me. I figured he'd at least be a little taken aback by the change in opponent, but it didn't bother him at all.
Because they have history. That's why. Because again, he mentioned earlier that he had history with Cryptic.
Yeah, he has faced these 2 have faced each other dozens of times. And you know, it looked like as soon as Dylan Mason found out it would be TCO, he went and got himself a new shirt made. Mason wins, LOL.
Available soon at the VTW shop.
Available soon at VTWshop.com. .net.com. We're still working on the domain. But anyway,
we might somehow get both.
TCO just immediately started displaying his unpredictability, darting around the ring, taunting at Mason, but Mason was just bringing it right back to him, delivering some stiff kicks to TCO, looking to control that pace, but TCO would respond in kind with his own quick kicks and strikes, and a wild, just out of nowhere drop kick to Mason's chest at one point, just seemingly just knocked the wind out of the guy. You know, these 2, they went back and forth for several minutes, heavy forearms, big knees. At one point, TCO just throws out kind of a last second version of that career killer kick. It didn't have as much oomph as it normally would. Just enough Mason was able to roll out to safety before TCO could get him. That was close.
Like I said before, he knows Cryptic's playbook.
Yeah.
More than anyone else on the roster, it's definitely
and Cryptic seems to at least have an idea of Mason's playbook, because near the end of this match, you know, TCO brings Mason back into the ring and he calls for Dylan Mason's own Blood Eagle. He's got this little thing that he calls system error. He screamed system error and then hooked Dylan Mason, tried to hit his own Blood Eagle. But if you know anything about Dylan Mason, you know not to try to hit him with his own Blood Eagle, because he gets out of it, gets behind TCO, nails a wicked bicycle knee to the back of his head, and then drops him with the Blood Eagle. 1, 2, 3.
Basically, he showed him how it's done.
And
pretty much
keeps on pointing at the shirt afterwards, like wiping it off.
The bell rang. He grabbed the shirt and he kind of pointed at it, gave it a cheeky little smile. But I mean, you could tell he was out of breath after that one. TCO definitely brought it to him. You know, there was it was very close. But at the end of the day, Mason wins.
Yep. Mason wins. LOL.
Next week, Mason has to face Nick Apollo.
Ooh, and this is the first. This is like their second time facing each other.
And this is a very different Nick Apollo to the
Pretty
one that
much.
Dylan Mason remembers.
I cannot wait for that one.
Me neither. I am excited for that one. Now, before we get to our main event of the evening, I also have another debut to announce. I'll go ahead and give y'all another look at to who we can expect to see in one of the Defiance Championship Battle Royals next week. So, ladies and gentlemen,
imagine all the people living for today.
the returning Sebastian Saint.
I know a little
That
bit
is
about
a big
him.
acquisition. That is
I
a
know
a little
huge
bit about
signee for VTW.
It is. It really is. Sebastian Saint is someone that I have a lot of history with. I've teamed with the guy. We've been tag team champions together in another life. He is someone to be taken seriously when his head is in the right place. I cannot wait to see what he brings to VTW next week when we see him competing for a chance at the Defiance Championship. But next up, here we go. The big one. Your main event of the evening.
Woo! Here we go.
Big Sexxy taking the place of Tommy Dyer, who was mysteriously attacked at a media event here in the Chicago area. Unlike Amelia Eris, no one has seemingly claimed the credit for attacking Tommy Dyer.
No one's been taking credit, but at least we know what's happened to him is he was attacked.
Yeah. Luckily, someone was able to find him where he was attacked. And, you know, we've heard nothing. We've just hit a wall when it comes to figuring out what happened to him. You know, we've asked everyone we can ask, and it's been nothing. In fact, last we heard, he still has yet to have woken up from the hospital yet.
He's in a
So who knows when we're gonna find out what the update is?
That was like the second.
Who knows when we're gonna find out who attacked Tommy Dyer? But
What we know, you'll all know. But
yeah, what we do know for sure is that someone who was very eager to step up and take Tommy Dyer's position to take on Showtime tonight was Big Sexxy.
now, moving into this,
Who,
I'll be the first to admit,
admittedly, before this even happened, had come out and made a very emphatic statement on social media. Was not happy about not being on the card, which in hindsight does make me ask some questions.
it does make
At
you
the
think.
same time, you had Showtime who was asking Dyer to forfeit on social media as well. So again, I'm asking questions, but hey, that's conspiracy talk. We can talk about that later. What we can talk about is how badass of a match this was.
This
You know,
absolute-
these two took off the kid gloves.
They
Yeah.
fought like they hated each other. They acted like they were trying to legit kill each other. I'll be the first to admit too. You know, you go from seeing Tommy Dyer to Big Sexxy. If you would think that was a downgrade, but the way these two fought, it almost feels like it was an upgrade. Something snapped in Big Sexxy, and he was on a warpath.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, this, you know, they alluded to it over social media that this may go back to, if not farther than UPW, when Big Sexxy Brisket dropped onto Showtime off the top of a cage. So, I mean, this is seemingly a very highly personal situation. But, the bell rang in this one, and they went toe-to-toe, fist to fist, knuckle to knuckle. Aggression out the head.
They want to kill each other.
I mean, yeah. There was several points where our trusted senior official, Trusty Rusty, was out there trying to back them off. Okay, guys, calm it down, keep it clean. And they just weren't listening to him.
Nope. Sorry, Rusty.
No.
They want to fight their own battles. They want to go to war.
And there were various points. There were a lot of instances in this match where Big Sexxy teased that brisket drop, and every time he did, Showtime just had enough in him to get away. He did not want to get hit with that brisket drop again. No. But we get to the closing moments of this match, and these two, they are just going back and forth, and then Big Sexxy nails Showtime with a clobbering uppercut that drops him to his knees.
Oof.
And as Big Sexxy gears up for something, I'm not sure what he was going for. We didn't get a chance to find out because Showtime, out of nowhere, slips the brass knuckles on.
Oh no!
And before Big Sexxy knows what hit him, he got hit with I believe he calls it the that Mississippi cooter punch. I love saying that. I love saying that. That MCP. Right in the ding ding. Right in the ding ding with the MCP. Big Sexy's eyes crossed. He let out a horrible groan and fell to the ground with an emphatic thud.
And Darcy
Senior referee Trusty Rusty saw this and immediately called for the bell. By disqualification, Big Sexxy wins. But that's not all of them because Showtime all of a sudden has just snapped. And he goes over to senior referee Trusty Rusty, backs him into a corner, is reading him the riot act, and then he hits him with a Mississippi cooter punch.
God damn it.
What? Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, Fuller, do your job. You can handle your...
Yeah, at this point, Fuller, you saw enough at this point.
Yes, I did. And
I told you to get in there and handle it. I saw enough. You saw enough. I told you, get out there and handle this. Fix this guy.
I went in. I tried to call him. Like, hey, I understand doing it to Big Sexxy. He's got the fat protection program. Maybe you wouldn't hit them, but you can't be attacking the referees. He wasn't hearing any of it. He drops down and he gave me the Mississippi cooter punch.
Christ.
I'm still icing things. They haven't descended back yet. So at that point, I had to make a judgment call after. Yeah, at least
and it's
conscious.
Yeah. After the show, me and you we got to talking, and this is something that I'm not gonna let stand.
No,
I'm not gonna let stand. Turner's not gonna let stand. Fuller's not gonna let stand. We got to make an example out of this. So, for as great of a match as it was up until then, until further notice,
indefinite.
I have no choice to indefinite suspension to Showtime.
For sure. Showtime is what you get, bud. You did good showing, but pull that out on John Ray. I know you hated the guy, but come on.
It's one thing to do that to your opponent. It's another thing to do it to an official, especially our senior official. It's another thing altogether to attack a company executive. An example has to be made, and it will be made at your expense, Showtime. Don't play with fire. You will get burned. We can talk about this. We can discuss this at a later time if we need to. And we can talk about terms. But until then, you can sit at home and you can watch Big Sexxy face Jack Harvey next week in the next round of the VTW Championship Tournament. I'm going to pull that graphic back up because our two of our marquee matches next week, Nick Apollo versus Dylan Mason, Jack Harvey versus Big Sexxy. And the week after that, the winner of those two matches fight for the big one.
This is going to be an absolutely amazing holiday season for VTW.
Absolutely. A great opening season, a great holiday season, all things in between. And you know what? I'll go ahead and drop this. I mentioned earlier how, we're going to have a 5-man scramble match for that Defiance Championship. I'll pull that graphic back up. We got 5 bodies listed here ready to be considered. But we only have 2 Battle Royals next week. And I intend for the Defiance Championship to be crowned the same night as the World Champion. How do we intend to do that? Very simple. Next week, in these tournament semifinals, the 2 men who do not come out on top will get one last chance at glory. And they will be entered into the Defiance Scramble.
Ooh.
How's that for shaking things up?
I dig it.
Definitely no one's hungrier than someone who just barely came up shorts.
Yeah. So we got 2 big Defiance Battle Royals. We got the semifinals of the VTW Championship Tournament. Next week is going to be a big one. You can bet on that. But I think we pretty much covered everything as far as the show tonight. Was there anything you think of that we missed?
I don't think so.
No, nothing really comes to mind. So, I think on that note, we won't waste any more of all of your time. And we're going to get out of here.
Yep.
That's it for the show. Be sure to stay tuned to the other pages throughout the week. We got, let's see what we got. An EWA show coming up here in a couple days, don't we?
On coming Thursday night, I'll be on commentary for that.
Yeah, and you can watch me beat the piss out of Tyler Stone.
Little jab there.
Next
Let's see
week.
what Tyler just did in the Rumble match. So basically, you gotta. We'll see how
I had a front row seat. So, but hey, you can catch a lot of action throughout the IW universe. But as far as us, as far as VTW, as far as Tuesday Night Warfare, on behalf of Miss Turner, on behalf of Graves Fuller, on behalf of myself and everyone else, we bid you a good night. See you next Tuesday.